Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us for Politically Incorrect Knitters. I'm Deplorable Knitter, and I am joined, as always, by the absolutely wonderful and talented Ann Pinkava. Hi, Ann.
Hello. And our episode is sponsored by Chicken Lady Fiber Arts. You can go to chickenladyfiberarts.com and use her code HEARTS20PIK for 20% off your order. It's Valentine's Day themed, as you can tell. You can get all sorts of lovely colors. Or you could go for something completely different, like this beautiful one-of-a-kind skein that I got. It's lovely. There's all sorts of blues and greens and stuff. And let me tell you, if this is her like, nah, I won't do that color, you can imagine her real colors. So
Yeah, the ones that are just a one-off, I buy a lot of them, honestly. There's just something about like some of the colors that end up together that, maybe they don't reproduce, but man, it's the best.
They're fantastic. And you can also sign up to her newsletter that she has additional discounts. For example, this past week, she had a free shipping code that stacks on top of our coupon code. So make sure to subscribe for her to other things like that.
And if you guys are following her, she just came out. She's doing a new book, musical and flower every month now. And this month is Primrose. And I, honest to God, went and looked at that. It's a mini skein set. And I went and looked at it and I was like, I really want this, but I have been organizing my yarn and my yarn stash says you don't need to have this. I mean, this is on the ridiculous side. So.
But you do. Come on.
That is true. But I enjoy my husband. I enjoy living in a harmonious home. And if I continue to bring home yarn, I don't know if that will continue to be the case. So, I'll knit up a few things first. And it does not help. I got, so you guys know I teach my co-op classes. And in my crochet class, we are knitting a blanket. Where I've showed it off here. I don't have it with me. As you can tell, I'm not home right now.
You're crocheting a blanket.
What, Ann?
I hope you mean you're crocheting a blanket. You're not knitting a blanket in crochet class. That seems a little
correct. Yeah, no. So you know what I mean. But I don't have anything with me to show because I'm a little bit away from my house at the moment. But so for crochet class, we're making this blanket that has 12 different colors. And so I have a box from Joann's in my house that is, honest to God, like 3 feet by 2 feet wide. And I haven't done anything with it yet because I got some canvas bags so that as I like prep everybody's stuff, I can just put it into a bag and then they will all have their bags and take them home. And I am no longer in charge of the yarn. Every semester I'm in charge of the yarn and I have this giant bag of yarn. I'm like, I'm not doing that anymore. This is ridiculous. So I can't buy any more yarn until the 3 by 2 box is out of my house because my husband just keeps looking at it going, what is this? What is this stuff in our house? So.
Well, I think I said before that for the big quilt that I'm making, that I grabbed everything and I stuck it all in a big cardboard box. I'm like, I'm hauling this with me now.
Yeah, just carry it all around with you. It's fine. It's normal. Exactly. Nobody's gonna be.
Well, oh, it's almost worse than that because I have all of my yarn in a box, but I have the current project is actually hanging out in a laundry basket. So, just the more luggage, the better.
So, as you can tell, what Ann and I are trying to say is that we are professionals here. Obviously.
We are super professionals. Also, on the not so professional scale, I don't know if this really goes into anything at all. So, okay, lipstick today. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to put some on for the show. So I have this one tube of lipstick. It is Peggy Carter from Captain America. It is her color. And I'm like, it's a little dark. I'm not sure I should do this. But I'm like, no, I haven't tried this for a while. I'll do it again. Okay, my skin was so green. It was like alien. It was like, I'm just like, what? I'm trying to smear it off. I look like a kid who's had too much Kool-Aid. It was awful. And I'm like, I'm so professional right now.
Oh my gosh. I had red on, but because I was out and about, I was like, I don't really wear red. So I changed it to my brown. I don't know. It's not that dark anymore, but I was like, I will wear brown lipstick all day long, but too much red, and I'm a little bit like, I don't know what people are gonna say. I feel, So anyway, Anna and I are always super professional. Here we are, yay! Oh, hey, before I forget, because I want to tell everybody. So I've opened my Patreon. Yay! It's super exciting. We've done like a patrons only Zoom, which was a great time. There's posts and a chat channel, so that like last night when both my cats were helping me, I was posting pictures and we talk about different things. It's just fun. But this month I opened my yarn tier. So if you've ever kind of been like, I might want to join a yarn of the month club kind of thing, and you kind of want to join my Patreon, it's for you, because this month Chicken Lady is going to be doing the yarn. I've got a one in Yarn and Fibers lined up. I've got my friend over at Revolution Yarns. So I might have more coming in the future, but if not, you'll be getting selections from different dyers. It's going to be cool. So FYI, you can sign up. There's a link in the thing below. Hey, that's my plug. So there you go. Anne, are you knitting?
I am knitting. Yeah, y'all seen this, but you didn't see it last week, so be grateful. No, that I'm still knitting on big old Quinn's quilt because it makes me happy. And
yes, it's beautiful.
It is.
And your scraps that you picked up, are those gonna blend in with your color scheme and everything's happy? And
I think so. That some of these here that I have, it's mostly blues and grays. But I have some purples in there. So this is kind of getting on to this whole sun flare thing.
I was gonna say there you go.
There we go. Sorry.
You were getting blown out by the sun.
Yeah, there's more shelf than me, but that's all right. You can just check out
we already know what you look like. It's fine.
It's fine. And also you can't see my awesome artwork. I want to get them framed proper, but like
before we were officially official, Anne was doing something and she wasn't in her chair, and I was just admiring how that meme has been made into some Japanese art, and it's freaking hilarious.
Isn't
and
it
the
awesome?
Sun is coming to get you again, so I don't know what we can do about this.
we're gonna keep micro adjusting. It's gonna work out. But anyways, dropping. Okay, I love it, and it's some seriously cool stuff. Okay, hang on. It's gonna work out. I'm gonna stick my hand right here where you can't see it, and it's gonna get really tiring really fast.
Like I said, Anne and I, we are the epitome of professional. Don't watch any other podcast because you'll just be disappointed after this.
Exactly. You'll be like, oh man.
Except you can watch like Neil and Tina and stuff, and Devin and our friends, but the rest of them, you don't need that. You don't need that in your life.
Top tier podcast technology, let me tell you.
Your little fingers are like right on the edge of the screen.
Oh.
So excuse me. So Anne's working on her Quinn's quilt, and I'm still working on projects for my classes. As I said, I don't have any with me because that blanket's not really car worthy anymore. It's gotten too large to be like dragging it around. And after I started mine, and about 8 rows in, I was far enough in that I wasn't going to start it again, but I was like, there's no way the kids are making a blanket this big. It's like long enough to be on like a bed. Like there's no way these girls that are learning stitches want to make a blanket that big. That's just ridiculous. So I got to cut it in half and all kinds of things. Yeah, it's all good. So knitting, that's it. So what else you got going on? Well, this is light on knitting for the knitting podcast, I gotta say.
Well, I don't know what to say. I mean, I can pull out the there we go. Lens flare. You can always just pretend it's a J.J. Abrams movie.
I didn't say that so you'd pull something else out. I was just saying. I mean, it doesn't help that hey, I got this on. I made it like 3 years ago. It's somebody else's pattern, but there you go. It's a hat.
I mean,
it's an ear warmer.
I mean, I'm wearing the undesirable #1 sweater, but you can't even see. There we go. Now you can see it. Here. No, right there. Right there. This is awful. Okay. Anyways, I am still working on the Benedicta sweater, but
it's pretty. I picked out yarn for a sweater, and I'm gonna be on vacation in a few weeks, and I'm contemplating packing the sweater as like one of my only projects, which I don't know. Because I feel like if I get bored, I would be so sad, because then I'm so far away from my stash. What do I do?
Well, you might have to buy yarn on the go. It'd be terrible.
Well, I do try to make it a point to go to the yarn store. I usually go to a good yarn in Sarasota. So people in the past have told me that there's a better one that's not liberal. So if that was one of you guys watching, please drop me the name of the better store in the comments, because I just found that one online, because I did a yarn shop within X amount of miles of where I'm going, and that's what came up. So, but I think there's one that is less cranky. So that's where I'd prefer to go. But I am going to make a sweater with that yarn you got me. And then I have this Revolution yarn that is called La Vie en Mauve, and it's so pretty. It's like a variegated with grays and purples, and it's going to be like so pretty. I don't know what I'm making with it yet, so yeah.
So yesterday's episode, I forget which number it was, but it was our friend Marie from Skeins, and she was talking with Ethan, and they were he was showing off just some of the most incredible sweaters, but they were also going through all of these 1980s Intarsia knitting books. They were so loud. They were just like, okay, just technically extremely complicated, but also just the most dramatic and ugly sweaters you've ever seen. And it's that in between like, wow, you can take out these charts, you can put in whatever you want, you can take these complicated concepts, and you could make something really fantastic out of it, even though you just see it and it goes blah. Like, or you could knit the ugliest sweater of your life and look so good. Like,
yeah. I've always wondered, why do they make, I understand the 80s, it was the style, but when you see some patterns nowadays, they're like in some of the worst color combinations ever. And is that because like they're trying to show off, like to make sure there's a lot of contrast for the pictures, or is it just because somebody thinks that's a good look? Is it, I don't get it.
I don't know. There is definitely a difference now. Like in some magazines, you'll see like, oh yeah, this sweater looks really cozy and handmade, and it's really ugly, but it's ugly in an unskilled way. Whereas the Intarsia 1980s sweaters were ugly in a highly skilled way.
I'm not talking about unskilled though. I'm talking about like, why did you pick that brown with that like purple with that yellow? Like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, who decides that these colors are a good plan?
Yeah.
That's what I've always been curious about personally, but hey.
Yeah, it's true.
When you're talking about this, I can envision it because I was an 80s child. So therefore I know what you're talking about.
Oh yeah.
I probably didn't have them because my mom was way cooler than that, but I saw them on other kids. That's funny. So that was on the Skeins podcast?
Yeah.
Okay. If anybody wants to check that out. That's not one I tend to catch.
Yep. I'm behind by a lot, but I happened to catch the end of it live, and it was pretty funny. Because all the Skeins crew, that they'll knit a sweater, or they'll specifically knit sweaters for, I think it's Knit August Nights is Marie's big thing that she does. So yeah, and they also had the Beatrix Potter knitting book, which is a book of legends when it comes to Intarsia patterns. Like, you can get every Beatrix Potter character on a sweater, and there's one for Tom Kitten, and Tom Kitten has seen some things, and it is a big old kitten face on the top of the sweater. And Ethan was talking about, like, no, we're all knitting this, it's gonna be great.
Yeah, I don't know about that. But hey, I have no desire to have like a giant scary kitten on my sweater, but it's just me. Um, so what did you want to tell us about today? You said you had a couple of things that were happening.
Yeah. I mean, okay, so I kind of have a big old video game rant. Um, so kind of in two parts. So this little thing came out how Sims 4 has an update, and it's an update that can give your Sims top surgery scars basically for teenagers. And you can also have, chest binders and other things like that for your Sims characters.
Okay. Can I
Okay.
just say something? I've never
Yes.
played Sims. But
Uh-huh.
isn't it like a fantasy world?
It is. Well, okay, that's
So
why I said
why do you need a binder
yes.
or top surgery? Okay, I'm sorry. Yes.
No, completely. You can make your sim literally anything you want. You can make a male, female, whatever. You'd think that you'd start with that at the beginning, but okay. So pre-rant. So Sims 4 is a game that I've played. I've spent more hours on this than I'd like to admit, and I used to play Sims 1. Okay, here's the thing though, that it's like, oh, Sims 4 has gone woke. No, Sims 4 was always woke. Sims 4, okay. It's like if you haven't played Sims, all right, Sims is a lovely little game and you have your little families and you can have them do jobs and you can buy expansion packs so they can garden and have dogs and do whatever. It's like, but Sims, I mean, you can play it as clean or as dirty as you like, but it's a rated teen game, which is the entire point is degeneracy. Like, okay, not
Right.
the entire point, but pretty much. Like, this
Right.
is, and it's like, okay, so the big uproar in this, not that this isn't an issue, but the game, the last update was your pronouns, and Sims can ask each other their sexual preferences. And times before that, look, there are no flags in Sims except for pride flags, and there is no religion in Sims except for a Christmas tree, a menorah, and a little oil lamp for Diwali. That's it. For old time Sims, you could become a mega passer, but that's entirely different. But that you have like, this is the game. Like, okay, so even like this is the game where you can have romantic interludes in bushes, and you think that this is going to be like a cool game that you can give to the kiddos. Like, this is the first thing that you do with Sims is either have an affair with a maid or try to drown them in the swimming pool. Like, this is virtual soap opera Barbies. Like, okay, this is the game. This is what you do. And part of your virtual Barbies accessories now are surgery scars. And before, you to get the quote scar set for, again, your virtual Barbie dolls, you'd have to buy the werewolf pack. But now it's just for everybody. Like, and this is the kind of game this is. Okay.
Okay.
But it's like, this isn't okay. Yes, it is. And it is a level of grooming, saying that this is cool. And it's more, I mean, okay, you can change, like we said, mid playing the game, you can sit there, you can change your Sim's entire face, body, whatever. You can change their gender. You can change, whether they pee standing up or sitting down, or if they can give birth at literally any time. You can't change their attributes, like if they're a kleptomaniac or if they were assigned evil, but or their height. Can't do that. But you can change their gender identity at any time. But yeah, guys, let's and it's not just that woohoo top surgery scars are a fun accessory, but it's also woohoo, these things have no consequences and look at how happy the dolls are.
It sounds like a really bizarre game.
It is. I mean, like I said, I've spent too much time in this, but it's the idea. I mean, like I said, there's lots of things you can do in Sims that you can have them interact and have
Right.
old time.
But
But
I think my issue is like it's a virtual game. It's make believe, it's pretend. So why are we doing these things to these characters? If it's make believe, if today I can have brown hair and tomorrow I can have a green mohawk and be a dude, like what? Why does it matter?
Yeah, and the next day I can have a mustache and it's okay. Like,
right?
Like, I don't know.
I don't get it.
Oh, it is. Well, it's bizarre world, but it's also a form of acting out your fantasies. And it's like, oh, well, you know, if people want trans fantasies, then let them have trans fantasies. There are clear lines on what Sims will allow you to do and allow you not to do. And it's kind of clear on the developers where those lines stand. And that isn't one of those that they seem to be concerned about. And it's video games all over have had this too, that you have I mean, you have every little phone game that you have will give you, you know, pride accessories in the month of June. Yay, the woke liturgical calendar. And you know, everything else, even you know, horror games like Dead by Daylight, they'll give you, oopsies, we're still in sunflare mode. Anyways, that's Dead by Daylight will give you Pride Month accessories. And also, kind of moving on to video game point two, there was a big thing a couple years back about the game Last of Us, which is a zombie apocalypse game. First one was great. Man adopts daughter. They survive the zombie apocalypse together. A lot of people enjoyed it. Okay, I didn't play this game. My brother loves horror games. He told me about it. Last of Us 2, not to spoil the whole thing, the whole advertisement of it's part 2 with the guy and his daughter in the zombie apocalypse. And everyone's like, yay, we love the first one. Yeah, the guy died in the first 5 minutes. And the entire thing is about the girl and her girlfriend and how they fight and how they start as enemies to lovers. Like, that's the story. But the thing is that they changed the cutscenes in the game. In the game, they were flashbacks, but they changed the cutscenes in the advertisements so that they were adults. So it didn't look like a flashback. And it was false advertising. And so the TV show just came out. And already, and there's been mixed reviews like, oh, maybe it will be good. And no, it won't be. They already wrecked it, sort of a thing. And episode 3, the director of that has already said, like, no, like the point is to sort of trick people into watching a gay love story. Like that's the entire plot of this episode. And it's not a, oh, well, guys, yeah, there's a gay love story and that's part of it. It's a, no, I know that the audience doesn't want this and we're going to put it in anyways. And if they, again, if they were just honest about this from the start, then it could appeal to the people who want that content, not to have it snuck in later as, you know, like, whoa, hey.
Yeah, that's just messed up. I don't get the whole, I mean, false advertising. That's not going to do anything for them except have people tell their friends and stuff, hey, you know what they're advertising is not actually what the game is, and probably reduce their sales because people don't want to be bamboozled into getting something that they're not planning on getting.
Right.
Like if I was watching a Hallmark movie, it was, you know, a Hallmark movie, and then we go to the inn where the dudes are kissing, and guess what I did? I turned it off because in Hallmark movies, nobody kisses until the end. I don't care if you're gay or straight. Stop
exactly.
it.
The Bollywood film.
Yes.
They might don't need
extra.
Like a little. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, in some of them, they've done more kissing, but the general premise of a Hallmark movie is there's not, the end scene is them kissing at the end with the camera swirling around them.
And like, it's snowing. And it's
obviously.
Like, of course, every time.
Come on. But you know, if I'm getting what I don't expect early on, I don't want it. Go away. Kissing's at the end of Hallmark movies. Go away. I don't need it. And yeah.
Right. And also, not just for, you know, specific, I don't know, that there's, you know, the woke agenda in this and things like having, you know, top surgery and, you know, children being told that they can have these surgeries and that they'll have zero consequences later on and things like that. That is shocking. But also there's been a lot of time, and again, sorry if y'all have, kids around and whatever. But the sort
Probably
of
don't.
probably don't. Sorry. Probably should have said that earlier. Sorry, guys. But there's so many things, like I said, with Sims. And yeah, there's difference between older Sims and newer Sims, but still it's always been Sims. That it's like, oh wow, it's gone woke. It's like, sorry, but moral degeneracy is woke. Like it's all drawing from the same pot here. Like you can say like, yeah, this is worse or this is better, but I'm sorry that some people are like, oh, this show has gone woke, and I'm like, you mean the show where the female lead should have got both of her breasts counted as co-stars? They show up so often. Like, oh, this is woke now. Yeah. It's like,
yeah.
What are you talking about?
No, that's interesting. I'm just tired of it. Why does it have to be in everything?
Mm-hmm.
If you have a game and you can mod it to where you can marry whoever and whatever, that's fine. But why does it have to be like the part that we talk about all the time? Why can't we talk about like, the zombie fighting part of it instead of the love story part of it? Like, whatever. Well, it's because they want everybody to be on the same page as them. So
yep,
is what it is.
No, it's definitely change the language. Oops, I'm just gonna go closer and closer. Change the language. It's just the slow zoom in as it gets more intense. I'm not even sure I've ever been this close to the screen before. I'm not sure.
I don't think you have. I was thinking about that earlier. Soon it's just gonna be like one eye. It's gonna be Anne's eye.
No, this is bad. I really need to get curtains, but part of our unerring professionalism is that I'm not allowed to put holes in the wall, and I can't get the little sticky command strip things to work like they should. So I'm going to fix that, but not now. We're going to finish the episode.
I can't believe you can't put in holes for your hardware to have curtains.
The previous people had like electrical tape, and it's still up. I mean, I guess I could use it, but I can buy my own electrical tape also.
Wow. Okay. So anyway, like Anne said, we're super professionals. So yes, what were you saying?
No, but just that it's like, no, it's gone woke. It's like, no, having these kind of sliding standards for things is woke. It's not like even small things. And we used to make, or not me necessarily, because I was the homeschooler, but it's like all of these denim jumper homeschool moms who get upset when the smallest thing happens. It's like, yeah, because they saw it was all connected, because they're like, no, we're stopping it way back here. We're not even getting started. We're
so,
and maybe at times they were a little overzealous, but look at where we are now.
I mean, are you done with the video game thing?
Yes, I am. I'm sorry.
Okay. No, just because that goes perfectly into Kathy Hochul had her state of the state yesterday or something. And everybody's like, oh, they're giving out more childcare credits. Woo, childcare credits. They just want your kids sooner.
Mm-hmm.
They just want them in a place that's not with you. I read something, one of my homeschooling moms posted on Facebook. The average parent spends around 36 minutes a day with their kid. How sad is that?
Mm-hmm.
You're the biggest influence in their life, and some parents are spending 36 minutes a day. And I'm not sure if that's like, I mean, obviously that can't be all the time they spend together, because dinner and baths take longer than that, but maybe meaningful time together, maybe time when you're not doing other things, that's all they get. Like, I don't know. But Yeah, so Kathy Hochul's State of the State. Yep, we need more childcare, more. And some families do struggle. Childcare is expensive, and if you both have to work, that's great for you. But I don't see them doing it as like helping families that need to both work. I see it as doing it like, oh, so mom can go back to work kind of thing, instead of encouraging family units.
Well,
I'm not against anybody who has to put their kid in the daycare or has to work, or at the sake of sounding like a liberal, I acknowledge my privilege. I acknowledge that I am awesome being able to be with my kids. I get that. Not everybody can, but I just don't see it being in their best interest.
No, definitely. And not to mention, okay, totally the things like yay, more childcare. But every time that there is state money, there is state control. What you pay for, you own. Even that, if that means the government paying for your childcare, they own your childcare. The amount of regulation in childcare, even at home childcare, is incredible, and it is expensive. But it's like for food, for example, it's the old thing of if it doesn't come out of a plastic packet, is it really real food? Just again, what can be in someone who does child care's house and what can't be. The different trainings that they can take for extra credits towards things and being, in the eyes of the state, a better child care person. It's not good in any respect. And I know this is something that Amy from Two Sisters and Some Yarn has said before, but talking about homeschooling, it's like, oh, grants to homeschoolers that they can get money from the government for things. Again, what the government gives money for, they'll say, oh, we'll only give you the funding if you do this or if you do that. Just like with many of the public schools and the public and many of the and colleges all over. And it's the feeling that if we couldn't possibly afford this without this grant, so we go along with it. And it's that nudge again of doing, and no, it's absolutely terrible.
Now, like my husband gets all upset because we pay school taxes and our kids don't go to school, and so therefore. And I'm like, yes, I get it. I get it that you're upset, but I don't even really want our school tax money back, because in the event that I want them to take driver's ed, or I want them to try out for a team, or I want them to, we pay taxes. So therefore they're still eligible for things. So, you know what I mean? But that's as far as I want to be involved in it. That's I want to be able to choose if my kid gets a little bit extra something because we pay taxes, but I don't want them doing anything with it. I don't want the government to tell me what to do. I mean, sorry.
I was just gonna say, yeah, they're being bribed with your own money.
Right. And so I'm sure that everybody knows about the issues that have been going on with bail lately, right? Like, I don't think all the states did it, but New York did the whole bail reform thing where they were like, the least possible amount of whatever is what people were getting. And so all of these like violent people were going out, and she didn't specifically say a whole bunch about bail reform, but she did say that they're looking at changing that some, which thank God, because what's been happening now in the cities, there's kids that are 12 that are stealing cars because they can't be held, they can't be prosecuted.
Right.
Number one, where the hell are their parents? And number two,
yeah,
how is a 12-year-old driving a car? I was terrified when I was 12.
Well, it takes a certain amount of guts, I guess.
I would never have gotten into a car,
like
especially not one that wasn't mine.
Right. This is the dark version of Jordan Peterson's "Don't interrupt kids when they're learning skateboarding." Like, interrupt them when they're learning to steal cars. No, but that's the thing, though. It's like, well, you can't do anything about it, because any system of punishment is totally gone.
Yeah, no, I don't know. It's just totally messed up. I know that she talked about more in it, but her State of the State is just like, Biden's State of the Union kind of like nonsense. I don't know if he's done his State of the Union, but it's always the same nonsense. It's always very boring. Look at how good we are. But I wanted to mention the chicken thing. Have you heard about the chicken thing yet? Do you even know what I'm talking about? You have? Okay.
I have, yeah.
and we have chicken ladies following us. So I thought that they might want to, in the comments, give us what they think about it. But it started with a segment on Tucker Carlson that I saw where there was a lady talking about how her chickens weren't laying eggs. And then I saw another lady talking about how her chickens aren't laying eggs. And then that lady was like, I put my chickens on goat feed and now all of a sudden they're laying eggs again. And a normal chicken lays around an egg every 24 to 36 hours, I think they said. So, you should be getting an egg a day from a chicken-ish.
Right. And also that, also it's like, oh, well, chickens molt in winter, it's winter time, the things, but this is beyond molting periods. And this is not with especially old chickens. And
Right.
yep. And I mean, I saw one lady too that, before you start talking about the feed, make sure that, your animals are healthy and everything. And,
Right.
but for this much to happen at once, and then for chickens to get better once the feed is changed is wild.
It's messed up. And then we have all the chicken plants that are having fires. And then this is the part. Okay, so I was interested in the whole chicken thing, but this is the part that I really was like, what? I don't know if it's true. I read an article on Instagram, so I will put it as that. But it said something along the lines of that there are things in the chicken yolk, antibodies in the chicken yolks that help people fight COVID. And now all of a sudden nobody can get eggs. And I know I sound like I have a tinfoil hat, right? I know it. But it's weird that everything is on fire. All the chickens have bird flu all of a sudden, all of that shit. And then, they're saying that maybe it has to do with it helps with COVID. And now they don't want to see eggs. They don't want to. There's a reason they don't want us to eat real food.
Yeah.
There's a reason they want us to eat beef and milk and chicken and eggs, and because you keep the people unhealthy, you keep them under your control. You got people who are healthy and who can think for themselves and are able-bodied, then they don't need you.
Yeah. And also, sorry, this kind of reminds me of this meme I saw, with the Klaus Schwab sayings, you will eat the bugs and you will be happy. The whole World Economic Forum thing of you will own nothing and you will be happy. Yeah, what if I want to own things again? Yeah, no. But it was just this terrible pencil drawn meme where, it was, that Klaus Schwab is saying you will eat the bugs and you will like them. And the guy's like, no, I'm just going to give the bugs to the chickens. The chickens will like the bugs. I'll eat the eggs and the chickens. We're all happy. And it was, no, I've been thwarted. Clearly they're coming for the meme.
No, it's just.
And again, not to mention, okay, so in the European Union, they've started slipping bugs into things, which is also bizarre because, as Americans, you often hear it said that, well, how many of the foods that we have sold in America couldn't be sold in the European Union because of the different food health regulations, and that Europeans are eating more healthily than we are, which may be entirely true. Does it make them more sensible? That is a question. But that they're getting bugs in their food faster than we are, which is kind of wacky.
That is kind of wacky. No, but this whole we're going to take everything and you're going to like it kind of thing. It's getting scary because it's kind of like, people keep setting fire to these things, and what are we going to do? If they're putting stuff in our feed, what are we going to do? Right. I don't know, ma'am. So,
well, nothing like learning to do things locally, and also nothing like trying to set back and push back locally against these things. And so in other crap news, 100 different city councils around England have agreed to become the 15-minute cities, which you're only allowed to walk intersections for as far as you could walk in 15 minutes, which is some pretty evil crap, not gonna lie. But also, okay, where do they attack these things? On the city council level. Where can we push back? On the city council level.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very important to pay attention and to say things and to speak up and to point out the just obvious bone dead stupidity. And also it's like, oh, well, the city councils won't go for it. Oh, in England they did. Why? Look, nobody loves power like a petty bureaucrat. Like just that little bit of power they can lord over you. You know, if we don't recall from ye old COVID days, you know, who really, really loved the power? People who had barely a foothold in any medical industry, but they could use that to make themselves an authority on the matter every single time. So
that's absolutely true. And just before we go, I think we should mention it is Black History Month, Anne, and it is the year anniversary of Black Magazine, and boy does Neil have something special for us. Comes out Friday the 3rd, so it should be out when you guys see this. Looks like a great issue. Looks like some of the people who have been putting their whole platform out as, look at me, I'm this color, are all of a sudden finding out that people are tired of it, which I think is a little bit funny, because the rest of us just wanted, if you're cool, I want to be around you. I don't care what you look like.
Right.
And I think we need to, I think it's good. I think it's good that they're not getting as much engagement, because it's time. It's time for people to just be people.
Right.
I hope. So anyway, what are you going to do for Black History Month?
Look, as I said before, man, not to, you know, not to be down on anyone's achievements, but this whole church calendar of woke, I'm over it, man. Like, I'm Baptist. We barely have a regular church calendar. Many Baptist churches don't even make a big deal over like normal things like Christmas. Like, I'm very pro Christmas, just in case you're wondering. But like, we have the whole church calendar thing, not something native to me. And I can't do it for woke either. I won't even do it for not my church. Okay. I'm not there. Yeah. I'm not, and also the weirdness of Black History Month is a full month, but not everybody does, Asian Pacific month. And then Hispanic month is like not a month proper, but like half one month and into another month. Like, I don't know. And the biggest one, the Christmas of months, is June, apparently. And it's
got nothing to do with that.
Exactly. But second biggest, I would say, is probably Black History Month.
Oh, absolutely. So. Absolutely. I actually think that Black History Month gets angry that June is longer, but what can you do?
It's
my
difficult.
Kids and I are going to study Harriet Tubman and the Underground Railroad, but that's just because she was cool.
She was cool. It's like Harriet Tubman is awesome. Frederick Douglass, what a bro. Bro is probably underplaying it, but brilliant man, great man, best hair. I would say every haircut that man has is flawless every single time, and it's not everyone who can say that. Again, least of his accomplishments, but one that I think is underrepresented when we talk about Frederick Douglass.
Yes. So guys, tell us who your favorite person for Black History Month is in the comments. Check out Chicken Lady Fiber Arts with her with the code 20. No, that's not even right. With the code HEARTS20 PIK, you can get 20% off of all the stuff in her shop, I think. And make sure you comment, like, subscribe, hang out with us. We like you. So, make sure you, hang out with us too. It'll be awesome. I don't know why I'm throwing gang signs all of a sudden.
Black History Month.
I am what I am, man. I can't help it. But I have to go get the kids. So guys, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.
All right. Bye.
All right. Bye.